So now we need to check with actually the interactive widgets. That's important
Right.
thing. So how we can do the interactive widgets. So on the interactive widgets, the first one thing is about the checkbox. Suppose if the Streamlit checkbox, I'm just asking. And here I will ask the dot, like I'm checking if condition. Dot right of this box, something. So if you run, see here.
Okay.
So when I do the mouse hover, and so the thing is, if st.checkbox shows this message, for example, is there something like a select this box?
Right.
Selected this box. Something. So if I refresh, so when I select,
Right.
it is displaying the information.
The write
So
command is basically showing the yeah, st.write is basically to display the content of.
yeah, so at the end, whatever you display here, for
Right. Right.
example, I'm going to use my try here, suppose.
Right.
Suppose this one.
Mhm.
So let me refresh. So now I'm asking if you click show video.
Right.
So if I didn't click, it will not show. So this is very important, especially when we are selecting some data,
Right.
and you want to see at the end what you have entered, these details or something. You can just select it. Um, this is like input actually. So
Right.
you are giving input values, at the end you're submitting. You have a multiple checkboxes, and based on your input selection, that value
Mhm.
can go to the next action. Doesn't matter what is internally the logic. It's only matter are you require checkbox or not to
Right.
perform the action.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Um, like for example, when you have dynamic dropdowns or
Yeah.
values of the dropdown that need to vary based on if you have multiple hierarchical dropdowns, for example, like you select country, then it shows you states. If you select state, it shows you provinces or districts or cities. Let's say for something like that,
Yeah.
uh, uh, as an example.
Exactly. And suppose we have a multiple way of multiple way of visualizations. Like suppose you have a different types of the charts. So let's say I want to see only chart. I want to see, all the charts is not fit for all requirements. For example, you want to see only data sometimes, or you want to see a bar chart sometimes, or you want to see Google Maps sometimes. It depends upon the elements you selected, depends upon your requirement. If suppose, okay, I want to see only data. I want to observe what is data. Okay, I want to see my analysis using bar chart. So, like you can put all these in the boxes, like check boxes. You can just select the checkbox, whatever the way you want to see, you want to visualize, or you want to see the visualization things. So we will use a lot actually the checkbox on different. When you actually playing with the data, you will exactly know where exactly this will fit. It will fit for many requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we are playing with the multiple options with multiple things, and actually you can access with the radio buttons as well. So this is also used a lot in radio buttons. So for example, let's say status is equal to st dot radio button. Um, so what is the current status? Something. So you can say running, done, not started. Suppose this type of multiple radio buttons. So I'm just calling right of this status. By using the radio buttons, see, you'll get radio buttons. So I'm just used the st.write status, but normally this works like a action. So this is like a action, nothing but. So it doesn't matter what you will write. So you can just define what is the status you selected, nothing but here.
And how do you like for the same thing? How do you show one of them as setting something as a default before a user selection?
Yes, you can. I mean, by default, it will take it as one, but you can define default as well. Let's we can just put you can put as a comma, and we can use it. For example, on the write status. So let's say you can define what is the default buttons. So you just called here directly, but normally you can write some text as well. The status of this, something like this. You can write the text. And if you have something like the checkboxes or something, you can write the checkboxes thing when we can define the default values as well.
Like for example, out of those three, if I want to say not started is my default before a user selects it,
you can define the index. So this is like a what type of the index you want to access. For example, let's say, suppose I'm taking one. So this status here we have already called, so it should be fine. Now let's refresh. Oh, this actually internally. Come on. Refresh. So something like this. Selected. I mean, index starts with 0, so
so
you can see running by default. If you suppose give 2, you can take 2. See, not started. So like this, you can select by defining the index value. If it is some checkbox type of things, suppose if it's a select box, I'll show you select box next. We can define the value or something. Okay, let me show you that as well. So which is nothing but select box. On the select box, let's say suppose I'm taking language equal to st dot select box. Select your language, suppose. So you can use it something like an array type. So, and I can define, for example, let's say, suppose Python. See something like this. The language selection of this is, you can just use. So like this. So this is like a select box, drop
Right.
down list.
Drop down.
So you can give this drop down list. So here also it's something like we can use the index type of things. What is the first you want to see or something? Suppose index equal to 1. See, it's a default value.
Okay.
Is displaying default value. And based on the index 1 means nothing but second one. Array, say array index, which is nothing but 0, starts with 0. So yeah, we can just define some default value, and then based on user selections, it can change.
So okay. So it can either be like a list, array, tuple, like any of the data types to kind of show that list of values.
Sorry,
Like,
you mean
no,
what data types?
no, like it
Oh,
can be
no. I understood. It can be anything. So it can be, if it is a text, you'll put in the quotes. If it is not, you'll put the value directly.
okay.
Yeah, you can take it anything. It doesn't matter.
What I mean is in 64,
Yeah.
you've represented the values like they're not tuple, right? And in 70, they're listed like the values in a list or an array. That's what I was referring to. That they can be listed based on, I guess, the whether you're using st.radio or select box. Can they be basically of any like the parentheses that you've used, right? In some,
Yeah.
that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, for the radio buttons, it is like a list of items.
Okay.
So, and for the select boxes is something like a array type process.
Okay.
So that's why we need to define this format.
Okay.
In real time, what will happen is we will not use something like this. We can use this actually this way for any 2 or 3 types of selections.
Right.
But if it is something, I just said, I think
Dynamic.
exactly dynamic,
Right.
dynamically taking from some
From
table
database.
column.
Right. From the table.
We can normally we will use actually these are all we'll use as a pandas reading data frame. Okay, take the column number 2, go to this one. We
I
will
see.
define. By this way, it will take automatically conversion. You don't need to define array or radio or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, it can take by default automatically this type of conversions. So, and the next one is like, this is like a single select thing, but if you have a multiple select, so this is like a single select box. Suppose if I go with the multi-select option, suppose let's say, suppose shopping. Let me take shopping. St dot multi-select and select suppose something like a fruits you like. I'll put colon. So here I'm just going to use something like apple. We're going to use this a lot from the next sections. Just we need to make sure that it's not repeated for each and every operation. So I'm discussing in the topics on the flow. So I thought it's good to show. The mainly thing is you need to understand the differences. So it'll be easy to understand now when we see the multiple options. So for example, this one. So you can see you can select actually multiple. So it's highlighting.
Yeah.
You can use the multi-select.
Okay.
So this is here is only one.
Right.
only one
From a
checkbox
drop down.
selection.
Right.
Exactly. So this is like a drop down, and this is like we need to select. You can select the
Multi-step
available
drop down.
multi-select options. Yeah. So that we can do. So this is mainly if you are giving some inputs. While giving inputs, you want to add multiple variable values. Like you want to see something like a year. Next, on the year, you want to see something like a month.
Right.
Month, you want to see some date, something. If you want to go that way of understanding analysis, yes, you can do those type of scenarios as well. Yeah, you can do it on the uh, based on the single select, multi selects.
Uh,
And yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. Tell me, no problem.
I guess dynamic drop downs, right? Like
Ah,
what you were discussing earlier. Like let's say you
yeah,
selected country as UK, then
yeah,
you go down to, okay, these are all the states, provinces, or cities, and you select like conditionally showing the values in a drop down based on the first whatever you selected in the first drop down.
yeah, that's true. For example, even for countries also,
Right.
it's something like um, we will use some select countries, something. So you'll say USA, India, Canada, some UK, and we have a number of states. Suppose so, and here I'll say suppose Hyderabad. Suppose I'm just taking manual things, but
Yeah,
normally
yeah.
you can imagine like dynamically
Right,
we
right,
have
right. Basically, you're
something
either running another subquery where you're passing the filter selection from the first.
exactly.
You show these are the select relevant cities if you select this country, basically, where country
Yeah,
filter is equal to.
that's true. So basically the states. So what will happen is when you make a just imagine like an application form. Just
Right.
like if we can make a easily with the Streamlit forms, we call as a forms.
Mm-hmm.
So when we make a Streamlit forms, you will just you will write everything. There are multiple things we can. You're writing the input text. You're selecting the checkboxes, and you are doing a drop downs. Before you submit, you do many actions, like all
Right,
these type of actions you do. For
right,
example, I selected USA,
right,
and when I select a USA, I want to see only the USA states.
right, right,
Okay. Okay. Right now we are doing here everything manually is giving options, but
right,
okay, now it means this value is actually input to the other condition
right, right, right,
based on my selection.
right, right,
So when I select USA, then it will display the states or something only related to USA. Okay, when I select a USA in India, it will display all the states related to the
those two
um,
selections. Right,
those two countries only. So
right,
if you're looking for a single way of okay, I selected USA. If you want to see the only states, it's fine. Or if you're looking some multiple selections, you can use multiple selections.
selections. Okay.
So yeah, like that you can just select. For example, I just selected USA, India, but I want to see only Hyderabad. That's fine. So if there is any common countries or common states or some names, you will it's just something like a select query, how we are
Right,
doing.
right,
You will get a issue of this, okay, this is duplicate issue or something. It can throw it. Um, yeah, like those type of dynamical scenario when you're doing application forms, you'll get those type of requirements. Yes, and and if you have something when you do the analysis, like when you do the different types of analytics, you require sometimes like a sliders also.
mhm.
So which is like you don't know you have some requirement about the threshold limits. Suppose I'm just taking number. I'm calling a streamlit slider. So I'm just asking select required threshold value, suppose between 0 and 100. And then I'll just give some value, suppose 0, 100, 60, 50, suppose whatever it is. We'll see how it looks. And st dot right, the number you selected is I'll just call uh, number. So you can see here. So 0, 50, it depends upon how you are giving the values. So for example, how this will select normally if there is some if there are some if this is also like dynamically. For example, you got you got the millions of values from the table column. Um, you are taking actually like suppose year wise you want to see the year wise, or you want to see something like some filtering option like where this insurance value is something is equal to or greater than those type of scenarios. We can just use this slider analysis options,
Okay.
and we can write something like the button type of requirement, something like I'm just calling name input Streamlit. So this is very important. It's something like you want to give a text input value in the forms.
Right.
So
Right.
this is just imagine like a forms.
Yeah.
So
So text
I'm
field
asking
value.
enter,
Right.
yeah, just enter your name. So what you want in the actually the background, something okay, type here, something. And I'm asking if text input, I want to make if after the input, click a button, submit. If the value is there, write it. Hello, welcome, something. Welcome to the and I will call name underscore input dot title. Suppose. So if you see this type of requirement,
Spelling.
spell mistake. Yeah. So if you see here, just so the type here is just something like a background. Hello, welcome, Venkata. We got this text information.
The same thing can be passed typically as a parameter to further query the data. Usually.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end, this is your variable.
Right.
So you can use anywhere.
Right.
Um, we can use it as anywhere. So um, you can store this variable into some value as database, or you can use it for anywhere. Um, Anywhere you can as part of any type of requirements, especially um, based on the user inputs. We are going to whatever the action we can perform anything. For example, it's something like entering some policy numbers, insurance numbers, or something, customer IDs of something. If it is not dynamic, it is something user specific, then yes, you can just enable to the user. Um, Especially, we don't know what actually the customer is going to ask in a bot.
Right.
So we'll ask something we can't expect. It's not something. that recorded. It's something we need to EQ as a text. So that's why if you see the ChatGPT or whatever it is, all the any AI bots, it's everything. It'll allow you first you write your text.
Right.
So
Right.
if it is something a automated way of buttons, for example, you'll get I mean, for example, you'll get sometimes you'll get some messages. Okay, when you call customer care, okay, you're looking for the below options. If not, enter your enter thing. The
Right.
below options are something like a already available boxes.
Right.
If not, we can enter your text. So the both features we can give actually.
Okay.
So this is something like a text input, but
Right.
there is a one more we can give, it, it is like input, it's a limited, which is like you're writing in a small box of area. If something you looking for a big area, let's say you're writing some feedback. So you can just define text area and then let's say enter your feedback here. So, and I'll ask here, okay, let me take if after you enter the feedback, just put the submit button. Let's say your feedback is something here. Feedback. So if you see here, yeah, we got it here. But because we use the same name, it's taking as a one application. It's showing that why we have multiple same name. So what we can do is submit button. Let's submit area. Submit area. So just changing.
It's
Oh no, this one you can't change. This is submit. Yeah, you can submit area. Yeah, doesn't matter. Because we called as a button.
it's
So
basically
yeah,
the
see.
name of the button, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just name of button is
Title.
taking. Okay, you use the same button. You're trying to use another same button.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's saying at the end, it's not disturbing any. You can use n number of buttons
Right.
the same page. But yeah, so let's say this is my feedback. Thanks. Something submit area. So got this type of thing.
Feed-
Feedback. If you're looking for a text area, you can use text area
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
And there we have some requirements when we are playing with the date and time, especially
Right.
when you want to give some inputs. Let's say Streamlit dot give me the date input. So when say date input, select today's date. So you can use a Python date time feature here, date time dot now. So I'm just asking what is the time now. So, but see the yellow, it means we need, it's not inbuilt package. You need to define,
Import some.
yeah, import date and time. So you can just use it this. So on this one, you can just write um, so date select date. It's like this. Now if you run, so you can see you can select your dates.
Okay.
So you can just select your dates So means this form is giving a feature when you add date, and actually you can do time also.
Okay.
You can select
Date time. Okay.
time as well. 2 days. Use time. Date, time. Use time as well. Time function. So when you refresh, select the time. Oh, not date input, time input. So you can see date, time, those type of inputs. Or you can do one more way. You can use both in a one statement. So I'll say date and time. So this is selected date. Let me call this way, selected date. And I'll call the time and select time. So if I refresh now, so I can see the date and time and type options also. So like this, you can even this time you can increase to the next functions like a seconds, milliseconds. You can use it.
Okay.
Everything as well. But yeah, so I can use this. Yeah, I think we have these are the basic things, and we have some more, and we'll play with the pandas transformations. So on the tomorrow, and then same way we will run all these again in the Snowflake directly
Okay.
tomorrow
Directly. Okay.
application. Yeah, we just use it directly these things.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.